Hello, James Powell here. We just recently completed a unit on the problem of evil, we call it, in religious studies, or this big, possibly new word, theodicy. How do we solve the problem of evil? The time of the Greek and Upanishadic philosophers, Confucius, Lao Tzu, these are your options, and if there are any more, please comment and let me know in comments below. Perhaps in the United States, we're most common with what's called the consolation of promise. What is that but the idea that those who've been victimized or wronged will in the end find that God has made everything right in the day of the Lord in the Hebrew Bible, or Judgment Day in the book of Revelation for Christians. Similarly for Islam, Allah will come someday with the Messiah and set the world straight. Maybe the second competing view, if they do in fact compete, is the idea of karma. For Indians, Buddhists, in a way we can say Confucianists and Taoists also, the eastern part of the Eurasian continent, we can see that what comes around goes around. So I like to say if I punch a cop, I'm probably going to go to jail. It won't be God sending me there. It'll just be my own actions, and I'll be reaping what I sow, to use, in fact, biblical terms. The idea is there also, along with the idea that the sins of the fathers will be visited upon their sons. And that certainly happens. We can see in history how evil deeds by one generation lead to disastrous effects for future generations. I would say perhaps in my own country that's true for the young generation today. Then another classic idea of where evil comes from is found in the Zoroastrian tradition, where we're told forces of evil, dark matter battle with forces of light and goodness. If you will, our divine soul or spark of life is encased in this fleshly corpse of matter, and the battle goes on within us over various sordid addictions to greed or hate and all these other evil things. They're due to matter and desire and greed. Another idea, the problem of evil might please atheists or agnostics, and that's simply the idea that nothing could explain the Holocaust or the many genocides, even the one, I will say, going on among Arab peoples to this day. The sovereignty argument, the idea that the universe, if you will, or you could say the word God, that there's no answer to evil. We simply have to accept the fact that people are victimized and there may never be any recompense for them. Another arguably weaker yet very strong argument is the idea that we all have free will to choose good or evil. And certainly that's true on a conventional plane. We can see I can choose to touch my nose right now, although if the causes and conditions, like me making this short video, or having a nose and all the other things involved with me being able to choose that, makes free will conventionally true, but ultimately we can say that a poor starving kid in Syria right now doesn't have the options for free will that I do in my comfortable lifestyle here in Thailand. And really what gets me is what has been called the banality of evil. The best definition really I have heard for evil involves the idea that it is a lack of empathy. My country's killed well over 1 million people in the Middle East, and people, many of them don't like it, but they really don't do all they can do by way of voting and protesting and writing letters to demonstrate their empathy for these poor people being murdered by the tens of thousands, their cities and homes destroyed, families ruined. And of course, evil begets evil, and it's a surprise to me that our media in the United States doesn't seem to realize that when you destroy someone's home, family, and city, they're not going to like that. They might want revenge. And so it goes, this kind of evil between the Islamic, Christian, and Jewish worlds. The Abrahamic religions are the big fighters among the big guy religions. We can see genocide in the Hebrew Bible, revered by Jews. We can see the coming dread day of judgment, when revenge will be had on all the evildoers in the Christian New Testament. And Islam's Quran also tells us the same thing. In fact, they say Jesus will come, not Muhammad. How about that one? So if you're really wondering about the cause of evil, I've heard it expressed very nicely. Evil comes about because good people fail to do the right thing. And they allow for that evil because they just are too busy watching videos and television and the like, is what I would honestly have to say about that.